Shalom, giving all honor, all praise, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushua, Bashem, Rechak, Wadash. Double unto the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations unto the four elect tabernacle of David scattered abroad across the four winds of the earth. Meanwhile, after that showdown between Trump and Zelensky in the Oval Office, you since then had a number of European countries that then came out and showed their support for Ukraine. You had Elon Musk come out and say Trump needs to pull the U.S. out of NATO. The U.S. is now putting a pause on military aid to Ukraine. And there's another article that I got pulled up, all right, where Norway is refusing to, give fuel to U.S. forces. So what do all this mean? Do we now see, a transition going on? All right, where the relationship between the beast and the prostitute, we're seeing that there's a change. That things are not what it used to be. People second thinking this whole alliance. Are we seeing a big divide between Edomite kingdoms? See, there's a lot going on prophetically. It just so happened that as of late, we got certain matters going on within Israel, right? But we also got these things that are taking place, which is why all eyes need to be open. Okay. So this is one of the news segments from ABC where they talk about how the U.S. is going to stop military aid to Ukraine. And Trump, man, he's making all kind of just bold moves right now. All right, you're seeing that that fierce king, that cruel lord. You seeing him in full effect, putting tariffs on everybody. Causing this rift within the beast. So what's next, right? So let's take a look at this, and then I'll bring out the couple of the articles that I got up, and then we'll get a few precepts.
President also put all U.S. military aid to Ukraine on hold in the wake of last week's Oval Office confrontation with President Zelensky. Our chief global affairs correspondent, Martha Raddatz, is tracking the latest. Good morning, Martha.
Good morning, Michael. This is one more gut punch to Ukraine following Friday's disastrous confrontation in the Oval Office. Officials telling ABC News that all U.S. military aid to Ukraine will be suspended. That means more than $1 billion in armored vehicles and ammunition. The vast majority of aid approved during the Biden administration has already been delivered to the country. But if this so-called pause lasts weeks or months, it could have a profound effect on the war and put Russia in an even better negotiating position. And officials say this suspension will not be lifted until President Zelensky ensures he is contributing to a solution to end the war, they say. Russia is the benefactor in all of this. Not only will they continue pounding a weakened Ukraine, but there has been no real pressure on Russia to give up anything, even though it was Russia that invaded Ukraine.
So that they're going to start to, have a sense of, feeling that the U.S. is starting to betray them, that they're losing support, losing trust, for this decision, these decisions that Donald Nero J. Trump is making. All right. And yeah, Russia is definitely in a more of an advantage position now that the U.S. is pulling back. All right, now they can actually, Russia has the power to do as they please now. Not to say that NATO, don't have enough power to put up a fight, but they need the U.S. to be able to really handle Russia or their food to Russia. All right, and we always go into Ezekiel the 38th chapter, how the Lord would put the hooks into the jaws of Gog, and they would gather an army, with shields and helmets and bucklers. All right, and Russia would also be a guard to their alliances, Persia, Ethiopia, Libya, etc. So they're in a position where they can start to regain some of their old territory without the help of the U.S. All right. And we'll see how long this lasts, because if Russia really starts to, press the issue and take advantage of this, then Europe is really going to look at Trump sideways. And we're like, man, are we really even in a line still? Is this really happening? And they're gonna turn on the whore. It's all happening right before our eyes, man. All right, but let's listen to some more.
It's kind of like get angry and you say, I'm going to take my ball and go home, Martha. And, this isn't the first time the U.S. military aid has been withheld.
Exactly, Michael. Last year, with the encouragement of Donald Trump, congressional Republicans held up aid for Ukraine, which officials said left some air defenses significantly affected. Michael?
All right, Martha, thank you so much.
It is, man. So we're seeing a shift, all right, a paradigm shift now. This is the article right here. All right, and I just played the news segment on it. This is from The Guardian, and then you got this article. Let me get this one. It says European leaders on edge as prospect looms of Trump pulling 20,000 troops from continent. European leaders are grappling with how to handle icier situations with the U.S. since President Donald Trump regained control of the White House this year. The Europeans have a serious problem of readiness that they're trying to fix, but it takes time, Camille Grant, a former NATO official who is now with the European Council on Foreign Relations, said in a Washington Post report Sunday. If Trump decides I'm going to pull out U.S. troops from Germany because I'm upset with the trade imbalance, that's much more complicated to manage than to say we have a plan to do this within X years. The comments come as European leaders have become increasingly anxious about the future of the security of the continent in a second era of Trump, with the Washington Post reporting that leaders are worried that the American president is too friendly with Moscow and that they widely expect him to pull back roughly 20,000 U.S. troops that were deployed to the continent by former President Joe Biden in the aftermath of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. I would not be surprised if at some point those troops go back to their home base in America, a NATO diplomat told the outlet, while noting that those troops were sent to Europe at the height of an emergency and that their exit would be, so to speak, a return to normalcy. Hey, World War II has already happened. So they're like, hey, y'all big enough to fight on your own. Use your own military strength, use your own money, all right? Or patch things up if you can't afford it, because we're not going to basically from Trump's point of view, we're not going to continue to foot the bill to prolong this thing. You know, you either piece it up, or the money that y'all not spending towards the GDP, y'all go ahead and take that money and y'all sort that out. So yeah, this is really happening, man. So you're seeing certain things are beginning to change, and there's a shift that's happening. All right, it's gonna take more time to build up. You know, that hate that the prophecy says when you read Revelation 17, when it says the beast shall hate the whore. Matter of fact, I'll get it real quick. It's gonna take more, you know, to build up that hate, because you know they had a very platonic relationship. You know, like if Russia start to really get in their ass and Trump still, you know, stands on his square, then you know, you can see, you know, where it can go. Revelation 17. And this is so I'm gonna start at 15. This is dealing with the whore, which is America. It says Revelation 17 and 15. It says, and he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, because this is the whore that sits upon many waters, where the whore sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. So you got all the nations that are here, because they're in bed, you know, with the whore, you know, taking on her culture, her ideologies, her democracy, only to basically, you know, get some financial gain, right? It says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. And we know that the 10 horns is talking about NATO, which the majority of NATO is filled with European countries. But then you have the US and Canada, that's also a part of it. But everybody right now is divided because of the whore, the beast. I mean, Slakia, the whore that rides the beast, right? These shall hate the whore and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. You know, so that's going to be the end game, because, you know, Babylon will be done pissed off everybody, including her own allies. All right. So you're seeing what's happening. Let me go from there to Daniel 7, and was it 11? This is Daniel 7, and I'll start at verse 10. It says, a fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Talking about when Yahweh Shai, when he comes back to claim his position in the earth, when he comes and takes the kingdom from Esau. It says thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were open. You can read also that in Revelation, I believe it's either the 19th or the 20th chapter. All right, when the books were open, you know, these were cast alive into the lake of fire, burning with brimstone. It says, I beheld then, because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. Which, when you read further down, it talk about that, you know, that other horn, after the three fell, you know, and this particular horn, he had eyes, and he was more stout than all of his fellows. He spoke, you know, very great words. It says, I beheld even till the beast was slain, and his body destroyed and given to the burning flame. Okay? So that's going to be the end game, man. It's going to be burnt with fire. And then I believe just as of late, the EU, they coming out with a 150 billion euro defense bill, right? Where they're going to spend 150 billion for more defense, because they feel like their back might end up being against the wall, you know, without aid or help from the West in case they have to really deal with, Russia, further pushing forward, or if they have to, get in a conflict with the West eventually. Because everybody that beefs with the West, they all have one thing in common. They all develop nuclear capabilities and defenses. Because we know that America, according to Jeremiah, is known as the hammer of the earth. Throughout the years, America has been instrumental in a lot of invasions, attacks, bombings. So that's why in Joel, the 3rd chapter, while the Lord is preparing, that way in the east, for this war to happen, they all are, generating their military might, putting their money into, building their defenses. All right, increasing their nuclear arsenals. Sharpening their military apparatus and technology. That's what they're doing, because the scriptures say that the nations are going to fight. Joel 3:9. Wake up the mighty men, prepare for war. Let them beat their plowshares into swords and their pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak now say that I am strong. That's ultimately what's going to happen in the end. But as of now, we're seeing the divide. This is Matthew 20, not 24, Matthew 12 and 25. And it says, and Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. And every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And it's going to be much more events that's going to happen. That's going to, keep them divided. All right. And this is all part of the beginning of the end of E. And it's nothing new, because Esau always, they've always fought each other over power. Because Esau, he's that their greed is insatiable. They can never have enough, so eventually they're gonna clash. All right. So, like I said, these are the articles right here. Okay, so you got Norway. They're pretty much saying we ain't gonna sell no fuel to U.S. forces, all right, because of how y'all treating, one of ours. Yeah, we're not gonna give no fuel to you. And I'm pretty sure Trump's gonna be like, all right, whatever. Matter of fact, here's some tariffs for you too. Like, so Trump is, he's very arrogant, prideful guy. So I don't see him pushing back unless, his Zionist overlords be like, hey, Trump, you kind of taking it too far. We need to keep certain things intact, because we know that what the main priority is, making Israel greater, right? The greater Israel. And then, focusing on this trade war with China, dealing with what's going on in the Pacific. And Iran, they still vowing, retaliation, against the headquarters. So there's no telling when Iran is gonna eventually, pull something. And we know that due to their relationship with Russia and China and etc. If anything was to happen and America gets pulled in, Russia is going to be right there. So while he's trying to make peace, he's trying to make Ukraine make peace with Russia. Who's not to say that there won't be conflict later on over Israel? You thinking that Ukraine is gonna gamble World War III? Well, what about them small hats? They're the ones that's hard bent on the war over there, trying to wipe all those Palestinians out. With all those neighboring Islamic countries that are vowing to do something to Israel because of, their operation over there. And seeing how the U.S. has been pivotal in their whole operation. So eventually they're going to clash either way. Because the Most High, he's the one that's mustering the host of the battle. He ultimately is going to escalate this thing. Let me get this real quick. There's Zephaniah 3:8. It says, "Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger." So the objective is to get these nations, all in one place in the earth, and make it real hot so that you can stir up a war, among them. But he's lining them up so that he can come down and press down on that wine press, come to judge and make war with all of them and bring all of them down, bring them all to submission. That's the overall objective. And then the kingdom of this world is going to become the kingdom of the Lord. He's going to be wearing all the crowns. It says, "Even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy." So ultimately the Lord is going to, make this happen. He said, the Lord is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. So, yeah, man, it's getting interesting. But, as the scriptures say, the end of all things is at hand. Therefore, watch as well as pray. And that's all we can really do, keep watch. Watch for these, be preoccupied in these prophecies. Because it's happening. This whole Al-Azhar thing, this needed to happen, for Israel. And I think the Lord is marking a lot of wicked Israelites right now as we speak. Because, the Lord is going to have it out with a lot of our people. 2/3. That's why 2/3 of you are not going to make it. It's too many wicked Israelites, doing their own thing. It's a lot of hypocrisy going on, a lot of respect of persons. It's going to be more scandals, more things exposed as we get closer to the end. But also prophecy is going to continue to unravel too. So, we got to keep our eyes open, all around. Okay. So, yeah, this is pretty much like an update on what's going on with this. All right. As, we seeing that shift in relationship between the beast and the whore. And if there's more that come out, we'll definitely, be on board. I'm pretty sure the elder down in Dallas, the elder in England, they do their algorithms. So more is going to build up, and I'm pretty sure we're going to be hearing from them brothers, soon. All right. So anyway, with that, I'm going to give all honor, all praise, and all glory unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. To the next one, Shalom.